Is making new friends scary to you? Do you avoid taking initiative to form new friendships with others because you're just afraid of getting hurt or you just think you're too shy? Well, stay tuned to learn why we should take initiative in our friendships and how to do it. Hello everyone, it's Elisa
and Jen
from Captivated by Him, and we're currently going through a series on biblical friendships. In our first video on friendships, we mentioned that biblical friendship is based upon the common goal of bringing glory to God and is grounded in love for God and for each other. We have also addressed some hindrances to biblical friendships and how to overcome those hindrances. And today we're going to talk about how to take initiative to make new friends and build our current friendships.
Taking risks to make friends, forming close relationships with sisters in the church, putting yourself out there, and opening up to people are hard struggles for many women, including myself and Elisa. So, during my freshman year in college, I realized that I didn't have any close friends to talk to and rely on, and at many times I felt really isolated. Even into my sophomore year, I asked myself if something was wrong with me, and I even made the excuse that I just didn't really click well with other women. I even blamed my issue on social anxiety, and my discipler at that time kept encouraging me to intentionally reach out to other women in the church. But that was something I often ignored or didn't do because it was just too hard, or other people were too busy for me, or they didn't want to be friends with me.
That's really relatable, Jen. So often, fear and selfishness rob us from having real friendships. But sisters, that ought not to be the case for Christians like us. Having close friends and sisters in the church is one of the greatest blessings God gives us. And risking your comfort zone, time, energy, efforts, feelings, emotions, all of it is totally worth it.
And it's something that we have to do rather than just sitting around and wallowing in self-pity. So this video isn't going to be about what your friends can do for you. It's about being a risk taker and reaching out to grab the full blessings of biblical friendship. It's about taking that risk and being the first person to reach out to someone, to love them, and to form a friendship with them.
This is such a great topic, and I'm really excited to get started. So let's first look at Jesus and his example of taking initiative. In John 15:12-16, he says, "This is my commandment, that you love one another just as I have loved you. Greater love has no one than this, that one lay down his life for his friends. You are my friends if you do what I command you. No longer do I call you slaves, for the slave does not know what his master is doing, but I have called you friends, for all things that I have heard from my Father I have made known to you. You did not choose me, but I chose you, and appointed you that you would go and bear fruit, and that your fruit would remain, so that whatever you ask of the Father in my name, he may give to you." Wow, Jesus first loved us and commands us to love others. He also sets the greatest example of sacrificial love by using his whole life to minister to friends and ultimately dying on the cross for us.
Not only that, but we can't forget that Jesus is the one who initiated this with us. He didn't wait for us to cry out for help before he decided to come be our friend or to die on the cross for us. He had us in his plans before the world even began. Of course, for Jesus, there's no risk involved because he's sovereign. But he still sets an example in friendship for us. Jesus took initiative and chose to be our friend. And he says, "Be a friend like me."
Another example of Jesus taking initiative is found in Matthew 4:18-20, where Jesus calls his first disciples to follow him. It reads, "Now as Jesus was walking by the Sea of Galilee, he saw two brothers, Simon who was called Peter and Andrew his brother, casting a net into the sea, for they were fishermen. And he said to them, 'Follow me, and I will make you fishers of men.' Immediately they left their nets and followed him." Jesus chose his disciples and told them to follow him. He wasn't passive, but active. He took initiative to form a relationship with them. And his disciples, with the exception of Judas, of course, became some of his closest friends on earth.
We can imitate Christ by taking initiative in our friendships as well. Now, some of you might be thinking, but it's so hard to make friends. no one wants to be friends with me. No one has asked me to meet up with them. I always have to be the one to initiate. Well, have you had these thoughts? These are just excuses that hinder us from experiencing biblical friendships. So let's dig into these a bit more so we can root them out. Let's start with, no one wants to be friends with me. We can stop being sensitive and saying others don't want to be friends with us just because they didn't say good morning to you one Sunday at church. And it seems like someone isn't putting a lot of effort into getting to know you sometimes, but it doesn't mean that you shouldn't do the same for them. Friendships take time to build, and usually you're not going to have a super close friendship right from the start. But that doesn't mean we should give up after 2 tries. Taking initiative to get to know others and having the right attitude of desiring to make new friends is what we should do. Instead of thinking, no one wants to be your friend, think, wow, God has given me so many opportunities to make new friends and be a friend to others.
That's so true. It's important for us to not believe that no one wants to be our friend, and instead to take that initiative to be a good friend to others. Let's look at the next couple of excuses that we shared earlier. I'm too shy to be the first one to ask. Or, why do I always have to be the one that takes initiative? Sisters, this is just self-centered thinking. Instead, let's cast aside these thoughts and instead remember the selflessness Christ showed us by coming to earth to die for us. In Philippians 2:3-4, Paul tells us to be like Christ. Do nothing from selfishness or empty conceit, but with humility of mind regard one another as more important than yourselves. Do not merely look out for your own personal interests, but also for the interests of others.
Consider others as more important than yourself. And yes, that includes your comfort. Don't sit around and wait for people to ask you to meet up first. And don't stand in a corner by yourself at church and wait for someone to talk to you. Don't sit and stare at your phone and wait for someone to message or call you. But take initiative. There's so many ways in which you can reach out to a sister and be a friend. Ask a sister you don't know very well to meet up so you can get to know her better. Or after church on Sunday, ask someone who you don't usually talk to how their week went and just get to know them. And when you're seeing someone standing or sitting by herself, just walk up to her and ask her how she's doing and how you can be praying for her. Attend Bible studies or other church events so you have opportunities to make friends and talk to people that you don't usually talk to, rather than just staying at home because you're tired from a long day at school or work or caring for your children or whatever you're doing. If you think you're too awkward or too shy to talk to others, then you can also pray that God will give you boldness and help you overcome your fear. There's never an excuse to be selfish. And don't be discouraged if you're always the one initiating. Remain steadfast. Keep reaching out to others, knowing that it pleases and honors God. So be that person that takes initiative to bless and encourage others.
There are many more excuses we can make to avoid taking initiative to form close friendships or talking to people in general. But the simple truth is that you should take initiative because it starts with you. You can't force others to talk to you or take initiative, but you can make the choice to take action yourself. Of course, we should pray about it because God is the one who will bring our efforts to fruition. But after praying and trusting God to bless our friendships, we need to take action, to take initiative. Don't just be fine with the few friends you have now, but reach out to those who are outside of your close circle of friends and pull them into running that race with you too. Don't sit around waiting for people to initiate with you. Instead, extend a hand of friendship to others and be excited to experience the joy and rewards of meaningful friendships that are centered around actual sacrificial love.
Sisters, we hope you're excited to take initiative in your friendships so that you can reflect Christ's love towards others. Also, please share with us in the comments below how you want to take initiative in forming friendships or getting to know another sister. We would love to be able to pray for you. We would also appreciate if you could take initiative and give this video a thumbs up if it's been helpful for you, and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. We hope this video encourages you to take action to form new friendships with others. And until next time, stay captivated.
We want you to be a friend.